Good day to you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We've been reading in the book of Deuteronomy. Now, last time we read Deuteronomy chapter 18, which had to do with forbidding spiritualism or spiritism, not godly spiritualism, but this new age and stuff about astrology and different things of that nature. You know, things that are temptations to lead us astray from God. So now we're ready to read Deuteronomy chapter 19. I am reading in the Amplified Bible. When the Lord your God cuts off, destroys the nations whose land he has given you, and you dispossess them and live in their cities and in their houses, you shall designate 3 cities for yourself in the central area of the land which the Lord your God has given you to possess. You shall prepare and maintain for yourself the roads to these cities, and divide the territory of your land into 3 parts, so that anyone who kills another unintentionally may escape there for asylum. So if you can imagine, we're talking about a city that would be, as close to the center of your territory as possible, so that you're making 3 wedges kind of thing of equal size or close to equal size, so that everyone would have an equal chance to try to get to this city of refuge. As we know, this has been designated in the past, and some of this from Deuteronomy is a repeat of things that God has already taught, but this is a different generation, so he's teaching them again. So we want to remember that, the idea here is if you had unintentionally killed someone, or if there was some question about whether or not it was purposeful or a murder, it would give you a chance to at least have a trial or something and not just be slain outright. Now, this is the case of the offender, manslayer, who may escape there and live protected from vengeance. When he kills his neighbor unintentionally, not having hated him previously, as for example, when a man goes into the forest with his neighbor to cut wood, and his hand swings the axe to cut down the tree, but the iron head slips off the wooden handle and hits his companion and he dies, the offender may escape to one of these cities and live. Otherwise, the avenger of blood might pursue the offender in the heat of anger and overtake him, because it is a long way, and take his life, even though he did not deserve to die, since he did not hate his neighbor beforehand. Therefore, I command you, saying, you shall set aside 3 cities of refuge for yourself. So notice here, God is very much concerned about the intent of this. If you didn't hate someone beforehand, accidents do happen sometimes. Now, there's a difference in negligence and a true accident, but accidents do happen, and sometimes even in negligence, it's really not the same as purposefully killing someone. Murdering, to me, murder means that your intent was to kill them right up front. That was always your intent. That's what you were planning to do. That's what you did. Now, our system of law will say, well, that's murder 1. But I say no, that's what murder really is. I know legally they have their own definitions, but real murder is an intentional, purposeful murder of someone. It is, I'm planning to kill you, and I go and I carry out that plan to kill you. That's not a good thing. That's murder. Anything less than that, like accidental or negligent, or let's say you're speeding down the highway and you're going too fast for conditions and you kill people. Now, you do definitely bear the responsibility of that, but that's not the same as murder. Even though you were negligent and acting recklessly, you did not intend to kill people. So we do have to draw some line there and understand that there is some difference. And I think a lot of times cases like that, or if someone's out hunting and they accidentally shoot someone, a lot of times cases like that will be downgraded to manslaughter, or maybe even, I think they try to say heat of the moment killings are like murder too. But heat of the moment, I'm not sure. that's not really murder, because you can't really propose, plan, and carry out a murder in a split second. That's what sometimes they legally try to say you can do, but that's not really murder. That's really more like in the heat of the moment, you've lost control. And again, you do bear the responsibility and the guilt of that, but even that is not quite the same as purposefully planning to kill someone. So just trying to, point out these varying degrees. And there is a difference in what we say legally and what we say morally. Sometimes there is a big difference. So, because legally they might say, well, that's murder too. You still murdered that person. And I would be like, well, I still wouldn't call it murder, but I get their point. In a legal court of law, it's a lesser murder, but it's still a killing of someone, a wrongful killing of someone. So, and that's fair. If the Lord your God enlarges your border as he has sworn to your fathers to do, and gives you all the land which he promised to give to your fathers, if you keep and carefully observe all these commandments which I am commanding you today, to love the Lord your God and to walk, that is, to live each day and every day always in his ways, then you shall add 3 more cities of refuge for yourself besides these 3, so that innocent blood will not be shed by blood avengers in your land, which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, and blood guilt will not be on you for the death of an innocent man. But if there is a man who hates his neighbor, and lies in wait and ambush for him, and attacks him and strikes him down so that he dies, and the assailant escapes to one of these cities, then the elders of his own city shall send for him and have him taken back from there, and turn him over to the avenger of blood, so that he may be put to death. You shall not pity him, the guilty one, but you shall purge the blood of the innocent from Israel, so that it may go well with you. Here God lays forth his own punishment for those who actually do commit murder. He's very clear, and this is what murder is about. It's someone who hates his neighbor, lies in wait, meaning he's planning this, he ambushes him, he attacks him, strikes him down purposefully, meaning to kill him. This is that definitive example of murder. You shall not move your neighbor's boundary mark, which your forefathers who first divided the territory have set in the land which you will inherit, in the land which the Lord your God is giving you to possess. A single witness shall not appear in a trial against a man for any wrong or any sin which he has committed. Only on the testimony or evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses shall a charge be confirmed. If a malicious witness rises up against a man to falsely accuse him of wrongdoing, then both parties to the controversy shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges who will be in office at that time. The judges shall investigate thoroughly, and if the witness is a false witness, and he has accused his brother falsely, then you shall do to him just as he had intended to do to his brother. So you shall remove the evil from among you. Those who remain will hear and be afraid, and will never again do such an evil thing among you. You shall not show pity to the guilty one. It shall be life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. So this is some harsh judgment, but if you look at this and understand this is one thing that I feel like if our law did, it would end a lot of frivolous lawsuits, and it would end a lot of false accusations. It sounds harsh, I know, but if I'm going to bring a charge against someone, I should not be lying. If I'm accusing someone of, let's say, I'm accusing someone of rape or murder or something like that, then one, I need to make sure that the person I accuse really did it. Second, I need to make sure that I really can prove it, right? And I know that's an awful thing to say in a way, but it's true. Before we accuse people, we do kind of need to be able to prove that something, whatever it was, occurred, whether it was theft or whatever. But nonetheless, when we bring a charge against someone, we want to make sure that we're not a false witness. I believe when someone is coming forward and charging people falsely, they really should be like, let's say, a man accuses another man of robbery, stealing a few $1,000s from him, and that sentence would have been like 10 years for that man. Well, I think the accuser, if he's a liar, if he's false, he should get the sentence that he was trying to get put on that other man. That's only fair. If I accuse you of doing something you didn't do, and you risk going to jail for like 10 or 20 years, surely my punishment should be more than just being sent back home. I think I should risk the same judgment, the same sentence that the person I'm accusing. Now, that sounds harsh, and that may keep some people from coming forward with accusations. I understand that is a possibility, but we need to have a way, because I see in our justice system, we have a lot of insanity. And when people go forward to sue someone for money, if I'm going to go forward and try to sue someone for some sort of injury to me and I want $1 million, well, if I lose, I should have to pay their legal fees, and I should have to pay them at least that $1 million or something, because I've wasted their time and made them defend something that was untrue. So it sounds harsh, it sounds bad, but I think our justice system could use a little fine-tuning. It's not the worst in the world, even though sometimes we look at it and we're like, that's pretty bad. And there are some wrongs and things that we could do to make it better. But this is a place, this is an area where I don't feel like our justice system does the best. So that's just me complaining about that. Nonetheless, I believe that God's system and God's idea here is the right way to go. So you will never convince me of that, that's not the case, right? Okay. All right. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a wonderful day. That is the end of Deuteronomy chapter 19. May God bless you and keep you safe. And remember, God loves you.